Hello and welcome to Reality TV Cringe. I am one of your hosts, Azealia, and I am here with my real tight homegirl, Beatrice. How you doing tonight, Beatrice?
Hi, everybody. I'm ready to party.
I'm ready to party too.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be talking in this podcast episode about 90 Day Fiancé, making the most out of it.
Yep.
And then we're going to be getting into the cast of characters of Vanderpump Rules, because of course that starts next Tuesday, honey.
I know, bitch. I'm excited for it, actually.
I'm excited too. So we're going to go over the cast involved with Vanderpump Rules. You're going to be talking about astrological signs, which I know make half of you groan because you think it's bullshit. And that's fine. It probably is, but we like to talk about it.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to give you the lowdown on who these people are and what is going on with the franchisee. Before we get into any of that, I just want to remind you, please hide your wife and hide your kids. I'm warning you.
Yeah.
This is a politically incorrect podcast. We are not here to massage your feelings and validate your opinions.
No.
We're just here to get into the trash. And so if you're down with that, welcome to the dumpster.
Yes. And if you are down with us, go follow us on Instagram at Reality TV Cringe and join us on Patreon, patreon.com/Reality TV Cringe. We have so much bonus content up on there, bonus podcast episodes, bonus video reactions, uncensored versions of these podcast episodes. Yes. It's lit over there.
It is. And if you are watching on YouTube, please don't forget to like and comment and share and subscribe. Every single thing that you do, every click, every comment helps us to grow the community. And we thank you in advance.
Thank you so much.
Okay, well, before you start us off on 90 Day Fiancé, I just have to tell you. I'm reading so much smut.
Oh my God. She texted me today being like, it's 3 p.m. And she's like, I haven't even watched 90 Day Fiancé because she's been in bed all day reading porn.
Oh my God. Here's the thing. In December, I was thinking to myself, Self, you're dumb. All you do is watch reality television. Like, where's the literature? You know, where is the brain bettering content? Like, feed your soul and your brain.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm going to start reading. And so my entree into reading was romance, because I love romance. I'm a very romantic person, actually.
You are. You are a sap.
And so I have read, in the last less than 30 days, I've read 13 books. Oh, my God.
And they all have sex scenes.
Yes.
She's leaving reviews on Goodreads.
Oh, yeah. I'm up on Goodreads, honey, and I'm just like, woo, you better fan me. The book I read... Girl. The book I read yesterday was To Die For. And then the book that I read today, I was like, to be young again. And just fall in love with somebody and feel all those butterflies and that coochie tingle. Do you know what I'm saying? And then the grand misunderstanding where you have to run away and then he has to chase you. Oh my God. That is what I've been doing with my time in this winter. And I've been just enjoying myself so much.
Yeah, enriching your brain with all of the vocabulary for our bits and stuff.
Yes. So it's helpful. It's part of like providing a better podcast.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm trying to get you on board so you can read some books too, but like they are men and women, and I know you're a big old lesbian.
I mean, I can do men and women. I just can't.
Is that sexy to you?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Really? Like gets your basement flooded?
It's all right. Yeah, it's cool. But I mean, I don't want to read verbiage that's like dewy folds, like in her dewy folds, in her see you next Tuesday. Like I don't want to read that.
No. Then you don't want to read any of these books because it's all about the glistening of it all. It's all about the big pillar of his cock. I mean, it's just all about it. And then he's ramming it in, girl. And I'm just like, to die for it. And I'm like, are you awake, husband? Because mama's got something for you. Yeah. Your father-in-law's happy, honey. You need to read more anyway. You don't read anything.
I know. I really don't. I don't read it.
Are you
Talk
literate?
About dumb.
Are you literate?
Barely.
Yeah. You need to be literate. This is a great gateway into actually reading good books. Oh, these are good books, honey.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I know. You keep talking about it.
I will hook you up if you're okay with heterosexical sex scenes.
I can deal with it. I can hang.
I got your number. I got something for you.
All right.
Well, let's get into, I guess we're going to talk Vanderpump Rules first.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go through the cast.
All right. I don't know shit about this show.
Why? Because we've been telling you for literal months that we are going to be covering this show. And I'm like, at least watch At least watch the last season so that you can become acquainted with what the fuck is going on. Because last season was the biggest deal in Vanderpump history, honey. It was the scandal.
I know. I watched the reunions. Oh, I watched 2 of the
Okay,
reunions.
2 out of how many? 4?
3.
Okay.
But the reunions are fucking lit. I was posting it up on IG yesterday. I was like, this is awesome because James calling Tom what's his face?
Sandoval, yeah.
A worm with a mustache.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Peak James.
So great.
Yeah, no, the reunions were great. Ariana's dress was killer. And that was all great, but you really need to watch the season in its entirety. Are you going to do that?
Yeah.
So you're not going to do
I'll
that?
watch it. I'll watch it.
Okay, so I will do the best that I can in this conversation to sort of flesh out what's happening and who these people are. Because despite James really showing out and doing a great job in the reunion, he is a colossal piece of shit.
What? I was liking him.
Colossal piece of shit.
All right.
Misogynist. He spit on one of the cast members, a female, before. Like he's bad.
Okay.
But
well, I don't like him anymore.
He was great in the reunion.
All right. Well, I mean, I thought his comebacks were really funny.
Yeah.
Calling Sandoval a fucking pussy ass bitch.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which
that was just
Sandoval is
great.
with his fucking thin little mustache,
And his
like he's
nail
in
polish
Barnum
and
and
shit.
Bailey in 1920s, like fucking whipping a tiger.
What a loser.
He's a loser, honey.
so
Oh my god!
lame.
And he has a cover band. Did you know that?
Stop.
Yeah. What is it? Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras.
What?
And that would be
What?
cool if he could actually sing.
And he can't.
But no. I mean, he can. He has a serviceable voice, but he goes off key. He's very pitchy. He's just such a fucking narcissist and he just sings other people's songs.
What?
Yeah, well, of course. He's a cover band. He doesn't write anything. He's not original. He doesn't have actual talent.
Stop.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going off before you even get there.
What a loser.
Yes. So what we're going to do is you're going to just read off the cast. You're going to first and foremost tell us their astrological signs. We're going to do sun and moon.
Yeah.
And then I'll share with you what I know about them.
All right. Well, first up, we have Sandoval.
Yeah. So what's the sign?
So he's a Cancer Sun, Aquarius Moon.
Oh.
Which would be cool.
That's very cool.
But Cancers are also, they can be crazy and overly emotional.
Very much emotional. Lots of feelings
Yeah.
that are happening, can become overwrought in their feelings. But the Aquarius moon.
Yeah.
So the moon is your emotionality.
Yeah. And your feelings, dreams.
So what does that say about him? So he's got kind of a high-minded, maybe lofty,
Yeah.
heady, maybe even spiritual side to his feelings.
Maybe airy too. Like maybe not like a lot of substance if he's in his shadow side of it all, because it seems like he's a narcissist.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like if I looked at that just without knowing him, I'd be like, that's kind of cool placement though.
Yeah.
But he's an asshole.
Well, but truth of the matter is, like, I liked Sandoval for the entire series, and I've been watching from season 1.
Really?
He was with this girl named Kristen, and she was a complete trash bag basket case. She's now 40 years old, and she's come out of that. But, like, he was cheated on her, I think, with Ariana.
Oh.
Which they denied, but it comes out that it's true. Ariana has ultimately admitted that, which drove Kristen crazy, and he was gaslighting her about it. But Kristen was crazy and everybody wanted Tom to get away from her. So he ended up with Ariana. And their relationship actually was kind of a cool anchor to the show because she's just got a good head on her shoulders, which we'll get to when we get to her. And I think she really shone a nice light on Tom, made him look a lot better as a person.
Oh, wow.
Until last season.
He cheated on her ass.
Until like we learned a lot more about like his character and integrity, which is he's got none.
Wow.
Yeah, unfortunately.
What a piece of shit. Well, then next we have Ariana, and she's also a Cancer Sun.
Really?
But Virgo Moon.
Oh, like you.
Well, I'm a Virgo rising.
You're a Virgo rising.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your moon?
Aries Moon.
Okay. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord Jesus. So she's a Virgo moon. That's
Yeah.
interesting that she's got a very organized way of thinking. Very
Practical.
methodical. Interesting. But she's a Cancer.
Yep.
Yeah, and I like Ariana. I have a feeling we're not going to like her in this season because
Really?
after last season, she got a lot of brand deals. She was on Dancing with the Stars. Truly, the entire nation, and I would even say the world, was like in Ariana's corner and was on her side. But it kind of feels a little bit like we got oversaturated with Ariana. And I don't know if she got a big head about it, but there was some online gossip that indicated we're not going to really like her after this season, because I think she's going to be a total flaming bitch to Tom Sandoval and anybody associated with him, which the problem with that is that they're all together trying to do a show.
Right. And they all work together, don't they?
Yeah. So they have to be together. And I think she's going to hate all of her friends who hang out with Tom. And one of her very best friends, Sheena, we'll get to her, I think has been hanging out with Tom. So I think there's a lot of drama coming up for Ariana. But what I liked about Ariana was when she first came on the show, she wasn't afraid to show her insecurities and her vulnerability. She talked about an ex-boyfriend that she had who negged her all the time and like shamed her body, in specific, like her punani,
her wet folds,
said it, her glistening folds, said it was ugly. And so she like had she had dysmorphia about herself, and she's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
Out of the entire cast, she's definitely, well, Lala's beautiful, but she's definitely, I think, the most beautiful. But she was pretty broken.
Wow.
And so we're watching this arc from this broken young girl to this powerful woman who fucking hates Tom Sandoval. And I live.
I mean,
and
rightfully so. I loved all of her comebacks on the reunion so far that I've watched. But I kind of sensed like that there's going to be some tension with some of the people because Lisa Vanderpump is like sucking Tom's dick, basically.
Well, yeah.
I mean, she's just like...
She's got some inner misogyny. She's from like the boomer generation.
Yeah.
I don't know. She gives, I think, automatic deference, I think, to men sometimes. That's just my personal opinion. But at the same time, she's been on the show for, how long has it been on, guys? Like 10 years or something like that. She's watched these kids grow up from like early 20s or mid 20s to now almost 40s. And so she loves them. And I think she has a love for Tom Sandoval, who she knew before Ariana by years. And she's very motherly. She's much more likely to forgive than the other people, namely Ariana.
Interesting.
But yeah, I think she's going to come under fire for that.
Yeah, because it seemed like there was some of that going on in part 2 of the reunion, because I think it was Lala or Ariana had said, well, if Lisa's going to continue being friends with Tom or like try to support him or whatever, then we're going to have to reevaluate our relationship. And Lisa was like, what? Why can't we be friends? Like, why can't we all be friends?
Yeah. And so I think the part that they're not saying out loud is that this is a friend group, yes, but it's also a business thing. First of all, it's Lisa's businesses that they're involved in to some extent, although I don't think Ariana or Tom are involved. Well, Tom is with one of her ventures, but that's just kind of what happens. Like when two people divorce, like maybe I get these friends, he gets those friends, and that's just the way that it is. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in this friend group, because I think some lines are going to be drawn, and I think Ariana's just going to be like, fuck all of y'all. If you're not team Ariana, then I can't see you.
Oh my God, I can't wait for this season, Loki. The drums.
You have to watch the full season. Promise us that you will.
I promise.
Okay. By next week, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I trust you. You're making a face. Like, are you lying to me?
I'm going to work on it.
Okay, no, I need you to do it.
I will.
Take it seriously.
I promise.
This is our job.
I do. Anyway, we have Schwartz, who's the other Tom.
Right.
So then he's a Libra sun and Libra moon.
Oh, God. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah? Why?
Well, for me, a Libra is somebody who is looking at potentials. They're weighing their options. They are frequently of two minds. They're also, I think, very placating and kind of companionable people. Yeah. My brother's a Libra and I love him so much.
Yeah, Ethel's a Libra. Yeah. I love her.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, Robin Brown is a Libra.
Yeah.
I want to know what her moon and her rising is. But that's interesting.
Yeah, that is really interesting. And I think when I was reading this article about the astrological signs, I think I went and looked at Schwartz because I was like, it says that he's a Libra pretty much across the board, but he's got like a Sagittarius Mars.
Oh.
And that's crazy.
So what does the Mars indicate? Because
it's all about like your anger and how you handle conflict and stuff like that. So
he's a Sag for his anger. Okay, yeah, you see that though. When you watch last season, you're going to see him because he's going through a divorce currently. Well,
Katie, right?
It's final with Katie.
Okay.
And so last season, we're kind of watching them split up. They're not formally divorced yet, I don't think, but he digs at her and he goes out of his way to try to trigger her. And he's got this kind of like, oh shucks personality. So he's very likable, but underneath that,
he's shady.
He's kind of shady. He's petty. He's like a little petty guy, but I just can't help but like him.
Really?
I can't help but like me some Schwartzy.
Why? Because you think he's cute?
No. And also his dick doesn't work.
Oh.
Katie, when they were dating and fighting one time, called him out and said, and I don't fucking like your broken dick either, or something like that.
Stop.
I'm just like, girl, you cannot call out your man's dick problems on national television, and he's never lived it down.
Oh my God, that's sad, actually.
It is very sad. She emasculated him all the time. I don't really like Katie.
Oh, okay. Because I thought she was really pretty.
She's very pretty.
And I think she's, oh no, it's not next. Sheena is next. So she's a Taurus sun and Sagittarius moon.
Oh, so she's a Taurus like me and a Sagittarius moon.
Well, my little sister's a Sagittarius moon.
Okay. Well, so what does that say about her? You're the expert and the professional.
I am. All my friends call me their personal astrologer because I'm a nerd. But Sagittarius moon would mean that like her emotions are big and deeply felt, and maybe sometimes not able to be contained because there's so much kind of overpower her a little bit. So she probably just feels really big. Maybe comes off really strong in how she expresses her emotions. Maybe that might be off-putting for people, or that they might think she's intimidating. So I don't know, but I don't know much about her. I saw her on the reunions. She didn't talk too much except for criticizing Tom Sandoval.
Right, which I mean, appropriately so. So Sheena has been around since season 1, but she has an interesting tie-in to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills because she actually cheated with the husband of one of those housewives.
What?
Her name was Brandi Glanville. Have you ever heard of her?
Girl, I haven't been in the Bravo world.
How do you not know who Brandi Glanville is? Anyway, so Brandi Glanville and Lisa Vanderpump were very good friends. At one point, they fell out. But so Brandi would have to come to Lisa's restaurants and she would see Sheena because Sheena was a server there and it really triggered her, obviously. So that was from Beverly Hills. But then we start with Vanderpump Rules. And Sheena's an interesting character because she's a narc. Like she just wants to be, I'm surprised she's not a Leo,
really?
Honestly.
Wow.
She wants to be in the limelight. Sorry. She wants to be in the limelight. She wrote and performed a song called Good as Gold, which is super cringe and terrible. She wants to be a star by any means necessary. But at the same time, I think she has a really good heart. And she tends to be the outlier in friend groups. Like the cool chicks or the mean girls table, like never let her sit there kind of a thing. While at the same time, she's probably objectively prettier than all of them, except for Lala.
Yeah.
And sweeter than all of them. But she's gone toe to toe with some of the big mean girls, and she doesn't always lose. Sometimes she wins.
Interesting.
But she met this guy named Brock.
Yeah.
He's from Australia.
Okay.
I think she thought he looked like Jason Momoa or something, but I'm like, dollar store.
Cringe.
For sure.
Oh my
Jason Momoa.
God.
Like longer hair. He's weird because he's got kids in Australia that he doesn't pay child support for, or now he does. He doesn't see them. And he's got like a domestic violence offense against him. Like he hit his ex. And Sheena is just unlucky in love. Like she picks the wrong people. She was married to this other guy before on the show, and he was into drugs, and like she had to leave him. It's like she's unlucky in love. She's picked this new guy Brock, but he really feels like an opportunist. And recently somebody called him a payroll husband, which she then went on her podcast, which is I don't even know the name, but it's very popular. And said, well, who cares? Just because he's on my payroll and I make more money, like this is 2024. Women should be able to make. That's not what a payroll husband is. Payroll husband is, like, I believe, somebody who's just there for the money.
Yeah.
Just there for the clout. He's, I would say, a clout goblin. And he's just been trying to worm his way onto the pantheon of characters on Vanderpump Rules.
Stop it.
Yeah, and I feel bad. They had a child. Her name is Summer. She's very cute.
That's a cute name.
But I think in this upcoming season, as I said, I think she is going to talk to Tom and try to be Tom's friend. And I think and she is Ariana's bestie.
Oh.
So I think that's going to cause some problems, and I'm here for it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm here for
Another
it.
best friend from Ariana betraying her with her.
Yes.
Oh my God. Well, then next we have Katie. So she's a Capricorn sun and Leo moon.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting.
Capricorns, again, the inscrutable sign to me. Like, I don't know what that means. I can't feel what a Capricorn is. What's a Capricorn?
Well, they're earth signs, and they're like often regarded as one of the older like astrological signs of the zodiac because they're close to the end of the wheel and everything. They're very practical, very down to earth, but also stubborn. Like they're very stubborn earth sign, like some of y'all earth signs are.
Okay, don't look at me like
I'm
that.
just saying.
Do you think I'm stubborn?
Yes,
I think I'm very malleable and conciliatory.
You stubborn sometimes,
Okay.
girl.
So Katie's an interesting one because like some seasons I like her, some seasons I absolutely hate her. She was definitely at the cool girls table. She was one of the mean girls. She was the sidekick to a former star on this show named Stassi.
Okay.
Stassi Schroeder.
I've heard about her.
Who was the breakout star along with Jax, who was her boyfriend at the time. And then she became a Nazi, so we don't talk about Stassi anymore.
Whoa.
But Katie continued on with the franchise, and she's just fucking mean sometimes.
Really?
I recall her body shaming some of the other girls. She was exceptionally mean to Sheena, made her feel like trash.
What?
But then, like, sometimes she'd be on the right side of history. James, like, body shamed her. The thing about Katie is that she's got an interesting past. At some point when she was younger, I think she fell through like a glass. You know how in buildings they'll have like ceilings, but they're glass? Yeah. And I think she fell through one of those.
Oh.
And so if you watch pretty closely, you'll see some scars on her face.
Oh, wow.
I think this injury really fucked her up, and her perception of herself.
Aww.
She's got some inner wounds around that.
That's sad.
But at the same time, she's been a terrible person.
Oh.
So we saw in the earlier seasons of Vanderpump Rules her love story with Tom Schwartz. They were together when the whole franchise started, but we were really seeing them in the beginning of their relationship.
Wow.
And she was crazy, dude. We call her Tequila Katie because when she drinks, she becomes, I would say, abusive.
Oh,
and like, so she'd fucking text Schwartz these all night texts, being the most absolute person. I mean, again, she called out his dick. She wasn't drunk then, though. Just a very mean streak. And I think she frequently probably emasculated Tom Schwartz.
Oh, wow.
Which maybe lends itself to kind of how he presents now, which is a little more sheepish and such. But they were not a good match together.
Dang.
And I think that, you know, when we're younger, we're all crazy. And I think she was crazy. She's now in her mid-30s. She's got a divorce under her belt. She's living her best single life. She's fucking younger men. But at the same time, she doesn't have a family. And I think she's trying to consider what she wants. She went into business with Ariana. They are in the process of opening a little sandwich shop. And that's because Tom and Tom, so Schwartz and Sandoval, they started a business together too. They opened a bar.
Yeah, they were talking about that on the reunion.
Right. And Katie at the time was married to Tom, was like, well, I thought we were going to open a shop together. And I've been waiting for us to do something because Tom Schwartz is always up Sandoval's ass.
Yeah, it seemed like
anything Sandoval wants, he will give him. And so Katie was always on the back burner. And so Ariana turned to her and she's like, I'll open one with you.
Aww.
You know, and then 1 or 2 years later, both of them are out of their relationships and these two girls are friends. It's interesting because Katie used to be very close to Kristen. Remember Kristen with Tom Sandoval?
Yeah.
And hated Ariana because Kristen maintained Ariana cheated with Tom on her. So she hated Ariana, but it's been very heartening to see how they've come to be friends and are now sticking up for each other because now they're single ladies around the same age and they have pieces of shit for exes.
Interesting. Because I was kind of digging her vibe low-key on the reunion. I thought she was really pretty. I thought she looked cool. But that Leo moon, though, that's the kind of the curveball right there.
Why?
Because it's a fire sign again with a moon, you know, with your emotions. So you're big, bold, us Leos can be kind of abrasive. Sometimes we're not considerate of other people's feelings.
Right.
We just fucking go balls to the wall. Yes. And especially when you throw alcohol into the mix of that. I mean,
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
So next we have Lala, who is a Virgo sun Aquarius moon, which I just love. I think that's cool.
Tell us why.
Well, because Virgos are cool. Well, they can be cool. Sometimes they can be crazy and way too critical. But I'm a Virgo rising, so I vibe with that because Virgos are just like down to earth, also like very practical, logical, like very cool people. And then Aquarius moon, I mean, that can be really cool.
Yeah.
But like we saw with, what's his face? Sandoval with the Aquarius moon as well. I mean, you can probably be too up in space or too airy or too up in your ego as opposed to like bringing it back down to reality.
Yes. We are in this dimension. Stay here with us. Thank you. So Lala, also known as Lauren from Utah, because she's from Utah, but she puts on this big like Hollywood air.
So she Mormon?
I don't know if she was. She came into Vanderpump Rules, I think, midway. So some of the early people were around. Not everybody from the later seasons was around, but so she's kind of in the middle. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Toxic AF.
Oh.
She is currently sober, which means that she had a problem before. And anytime she drank, she just fucking popped the fuck off. Sometimes that would amount, and definitely a lot of times, verbal fucking aggression.
What the heck?
Stink fucking mouth. But there's a very lovable side to her as well. So when she came on, she was by far, this is my opinion, by far the most beautiful girl in the bunch, immediately garnering her a lot of side eyes from people like fucking Katie and Stassi and Kristen. And so she kind of fell into a different crowd. She didn't fall in with the girls. She's kind of a guy's girl. Because she's hot, the guys will take her at any point. She fell in with James. She ultimately had a relationship with James, somewhat. James also had a relationship with Kristen. Kristen is the girl that James actually spat on.
Oh, wow.
But she continues to have a good relationship with James to this day, although sober now, she's the one who's constantly telling James, like, fucking cool it. You're drinking all the fucking time. You're a mess. You're a free radical. You're hurting people out here just like I did. And so she has kind of an interesting kinship with him. She can be very mean. Very petty. But at the same time, very lovable sometimes as well. So a few years ago, she started arriving to Vanderpump to work as a hostess, Vanderpump Rules, whatever, Vanderpump, to work as a hostess. And she was in a Range Rover. And everybody knew she didn't buy that Range Rover.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, she had a sugar daddy. And she wouldn't tell anybody about it. And she wouldn't let anybody talk about him. But it turns out to be this guy named Randall Emmett.
Who's old.
Yes. So she is like, at the time that he comes into the scene, she's probably 26, 27. He's in his 40s. He's married. He's got 2 children.
Ew.
And she's fucking him. She's a fucking mistress. Now she will say, till she's red in the face, I didn't know. He told me they were separated.
Okay.
But I don't believe it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why she hid him. And she would talk all the time about how her man lets her ride on the PJ, the private jet, gave her that Range Rover, and she would flaunt his money in front of everybody else. And I just want you, Beatrice, when you have a moment, to look up a picture of Randall Emmett. Because he looks like one of those fucking bullfrogs who's like fucking necks expand.
Stop.
Like Mitch McConnell level of not attractive.
Stop.
And when you compare and contrast with how gorgeous Lala is, I'm like, she's only with him for the money. Well, he ends up cheating on her. So this happened.
The sugar daddy?
Yeah, of course, because how you get him is how you lose him.
Wow.
So he ends up cheating on her, even though he looks like a fucking toad and she's a goddess. And she never thought it would happen to her, even though she did it to another woman. And so now she's in a custody battle, and she is heartbroken. They had a child together named Ocean.
Which I can't. That's cringe.
Why? I love that.
Ocean? That's
Yeah.
so hippy dippy.
I mean, but it's pretty. And then Sheena has a baby named Summer. So it's Summer and Ocean. They had them around the same time. They've also become pretty close. Sheena and Lala.
So this baby that Lala had was with her sugar daddy? With
Yep.
Toad Guy?
Yep. Before they were ever married. So she never was married to him. And now she's just on a campaign to drag him, which appropriately so. But like she was fucking around with some other woman's husband, whether she knew it or not. That's what she was doing.
Right.
And so now she has all this fucking fire for Tom Sandoval cheating. And I'm like, okay, sit down. And that's the thing about this cast. Every single person on this cast has been a cheater.
Yeah.
Sheena fucked Brandy Glanville's husband. Ariana was fucking around with Tom. Katie, I don't
She's
know
not
if
been
I don't know
cheating.
if Katie ever cheated, but Tom Schwartz has cheated. Tom Sandoval, James has cheated. Everybody has done it. And so it's kind of rich to me that they are really going for Tom Sandoval.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's that different than the shit that they did, but I guess that it is.
Well, gathering from my limited knowledge from watching the reunions, when Andy Cohen called them out, I loved Andy Cohen on these reunions. He's like telling James to sit in the fucking chair
Right.
and not get the fuck
Yep.
up. I'm like loving that.
Yeah.
But he's straight up calling them out. He's like, well, you're all cheaters. So like, why do you even fucking care? And their whole reasoning, I guess, is that it was a long relationship that he had with Ariana. Sandoval and Ariana
Right.
had a long 9-year relationship or something like that.
Yes.
And that's why. And it was because he was fucking her best friend and
Yes.
lying about it.
Right.
Which, I mean, that's bad.
Yes.
But like, if y'all are all a bunch of cheating hoes too, then
I mean, it is bad. Like, it's the difference of like cheating when you're in high school or college versus
Right.
cheating when you're married. And Tom and Ariana owned a home together. They still do. She's trying to compel him to sell
oh wow.
because he doesn't want to leave the house.
Of course not.
So they live together right now, 1 year later in the same house because he
Still?
won't leave because he's such a fucking dickbag.
In the year of our Lord?
Yes.
Wow.
So she hired an attorney and she's trying to either get him out of the house so she can have it and she'll pay him off, or he can pay her off, but he doesn't want to pay what she thinks it's worth, and or sell the place. So
Well, and I heard his career's been incredibly damaged because of all of this.
Yes.
He's lost all of his brand deals and stuff. And
let's just say he wasn't invited on Dancing with the Stars. He still has his Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras, which people still go to, but it's a lot of times to hold up signs that say you're a fucking cheating dickbag. And
oh
so,
my God.
yeah, I think we're going to see in the next season, this season, we start next week, him trying to carve out some kind of a redemption arc
Okay.
to somehow rehabilitate his image. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. I think Ariana's going to be shitting on him so hard the entire time.
Stop. Are him and Raquel still fucking?
No.
Okay.
So Raquel, which we don't need to get into because I don't
Yeah.
think she's going to be on this season.
Okay, good.
She is looming in the background, and she was with James. They
Uh-huh.
were engaged. Tom Sandoval was James's best friend, according to James. Helped James actually fund the proposal, like put $25,000 into this grand proposal, James to Raquel. Yes. So it was particularly stinging for James when he found out, even though by then Raquel and him were broken up, that Tom was banging his ex that he loved very much.
So that's why he's going off and
Yeah,
calling him
that's
a
why
worm
he's
with
popping
a
off,
mustache.
because he's trying to say, I don't love Raquel anymore because he's with this new chick and she's boring.
Yeah, whatever.
But he does. He does probably still have feelings for Raquel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw his new chick on the show Allie or whatever. And she looks very pretty and very nice.
Very
but-
much so. And she's good for James, but he's going to fuck it up.
Yeah. And that's what everyone was kind of insinuating because they're like, well, you're drinking again, James. He's like, yeah, but it's different this time.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, okay, that's what they all say.
Yep.
That's what they all say.
Yes.
Well, speaking of him, he's the last one. He's an Aquarius sun and Libra moon, which again is a cool placement. But
There's a lot of Aquarius.
Yeah.
Is it just me?
No,
It
there's a
keeps-
lot of
it keeps
Aquarius.
coming up. Interesting. Okay.
And I love I've never met an Aquarius I don't like. I love Aquarius.
Yeah.
They're really cool.
So he's an Aquarius sun and a Libra moon.
Mhm.
Very interesting.
I think you're a Libra moon too, actually.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
So that would mean to me that he is probably living in the shadow of his potential in terms of his sun sign. Like,
yeah.
for me, when I think of an Aquarian, I think of like this is the dawning of like a high-minded. I'm thinking about fucking world peace. I'm a humanitarian. My life has a purpose. Like, I
Right.
feel like that's an Aquarian, and he's not living that way now. Although he does have like a drive for his own purpose. He's a DJ. He's a hustler, but he's pretty.
Is he actually good?
Yeah, kind of like what's his name? Polly, DJ Polly, whatever. No, but
Pauly
he's
D?
a fucking multimillionaire due to his DJing and of
Okay.
course Jersey Shore. And James is kind of going along the same track. He's becoming very popular.
Huh.
He's a DJ. He hustles, so he has a vision for his life, but he's also a substance abuser, and he's also a really mean drunk, a really fucking mean drunk.
Really?
So this is when he had a fight with Kristen and he spit on her, which, by the way, that's assault. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Last season, what did he do to Tom Schwartz? I think he threw a drink in his face and he just pops off. He doesn't have a filter. at all. He's like scary like that to me. Like he will say the meanest. He goes for the fucking sweet white meat.
Yeah.
Like he goes for the jugular.
Yeah.
He's mean.
Well, him calling Tom Sandoval all these names on the reunion, I was laughing.
And he deserved them.
Because it was hilarious.
Right.
And he was just going balls to the wall and like getting up in his face, going to fight him and everything. But I could kind of sense that when they talked about his drinking. And I was like, oh, you're one of those guys.
Yeah, like he was one of the folks who was body shaming Katie, because there's a couple of seasons where she's put on weight and she's very, self-conscious
Insecure,
about it. And he would just call her fat and make fun of her. And so he's just a piece of shit.
Well, bummer.
Yeah, I need him to become conscious and become a better person. I'm very curious to see what life with his new girlfriend is going to be like if he's drinking, because I forget her name.
Allie,
sorry. She has a level head on her shoulder. She's young, but she's beautiful.
Yeah.
She's way out of his league, if you ask me, with his weird head. And I'm sorry, I just don't think he's attractive whatsoever. But she's trying to manage him as best she can, and she's not going to be able to do it, and he's going to break her heart.
Yeah, which is going to be sad because even everybody on the cast in the reunion was like, no, I think Allie's really good for you, and she's actually trying to change you and to be a better man. And he acknowledged that, but then talked about how he was drinking again. And I think Lala said she was 4.5 years sober, which is really cool. So that's good that she's continuing to do that. But she still works at Le Sur or whatever this...
Yes, sir.
Which is selling alcohol.
Yeah, I don't think she works there anymore.
Okay.
And that's kind of an interesting part of this, is because when we started Vanderpump Rules, everybody worked there. They were waitresses, they were servers, they were working in the restaurant. And so that made it really interesting. But now they're almost like fucking all 32 to 40 years old. They've made a lot of money from this show. They've gone on to invest in properties. And so they don't really work at the restaurant anymore except for camera time. And so I'm not sure what Lala is doing. But yeah, she doesn't work there anymore.
Interesting.
Yes. And so some predictions for this next season would be, what I've heard is that, and I can't believe it, but Lala takes Tom Sandoval back into the friend group, which is rich, because she told everybody in the friend group, if you side with my guy who I'm divorcing or I'm no longer with, then I never want to talk to you again.
Yeah.
So she put that boundary out there. But Ariana, who's her friend, she's going to go and hang out with Tom Sandoval. Also, we hear that Sheena hangs out with Tom Sandoval, who, by the way, again, Sheena is Ariana's very best friend. So I'm wondering why. I'm wondering, what's Ariana doing? Because my sense with her is she also can be very mean. And you're going to see it because you're going to watch the season.
Yeah.
When she fucking finds out, because the cameras were already off at the time that the affair came out. So Bravo picked up the cameras after, I want to say, a few weeks, maybe a month, that they were not shooting at. The whole thing was post-production.
Oh, wow.
So they pick up the cameras and they go back and they start filming, and Ariana has just found out. And you see this scene with her on the couch, honey, when he's trying to explain himself, and she looks like a fucking Viking warrior bitch. And she's just like, I don't want to hear about Raquel. I mean, she's crazy. And so I'm wondering, that energy that she's got, so fucking mad.
Yeah.
How is that going to show up in this show? One of the things that bothers me a great deal, and I think it's because of the privilege of a lot of these Bravo housewives and cast members, is they tell themselves, well, I don't have to film with them. I don't like them. And if you talk to them, I'm not going to film with you. To which I say, this is your job.
You literally, yeah.
So if you don't want to film, quit then. But if you want the fucking paycheck, which by the way has got to be huge for Tom Sandoval and Ariana, if you want that paycheck, show up to work, bitch, and shut your fucking mouth. So I'll be very curious to see how she handles that, because I think she's very mad.
Oh, shit. Well, and do you think that's going to reflect negatively on her? She's just going to be a bitch and push people away?
I think that's
mad?
What the rumors are saying, that she's going to, the audience who is so pro Ariana, and we all hate Tom.
Yeah.
I think the audience is going to start to turn a little bit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Yes. Then. I think it's great.
Drama. I was hesitant to start this because I don't watch Bravo stuff. And sometimes the Housewives.
Which is wild.
Well, sometimes the Housewives shows are so produced, and I'm just this is stupid, But this, I was pleasantly surprised when I was watching the beginning. I have watched the beginning of the season. I just haven't finished it.
Okay, finish it.
And then I skipped to the reunions. But the reunions, I was like, This is what I want the Sister Wives reunions
Yes.
to be like. I
And
want
that's
Andy
why I
Cohen
think
hosting it.
the Sister Wives franchise, not Sister Wives. Is that what you said, Sister Wives?
Yeah,
I was
Sister
talking,
Wives.
I'm sorry, I was thinking of the Real Housewives.
Oh,
I think that's why the Real Housewives are failing, because they are so fucking produced and scripted.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't want that.
I don't want that
I
at
want
all.
visceral, actual,
Real life.
authentic lives in conflict. Like, if
Right.
it's not that, I don't want it. And Sister Wives, same thing.
Yes,
Super
because we
fucking
all
fake.
go through the same bullshit in our own personal life. I don't want to watch
No.
somebody just getting clout on TV. It's kind of like with 90 Day Fiance. Like, some of these people are obviously on it creating bullshit just to get clout.
Yeah, I don't care.
No.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it, honey.
Yes, bitch.
It's gonna be a great season. I'm gonna quiz you next week to make sure you watched it. That
I'll
is your
try.
homework. It is your raccoon homework.
I
So
feel like
make
back
some.
at school.
Well, you're a nocturnal raccoon, so
Yeah.
you'll make time.
I will.
You will make time.
I'll watch it in my off time.
So yeah, looking forward to it, baby.
Yeah.